Ever walked past a store that seemed strangely empty, yet somehow stayed in business year after year? You might have just stumbled upon something much bigger than a struggling business. What if I told you that some of the busiest shopping districts in America were once the epicenters of a massive international money laundering scheme run by one of the world's most powerful cartels? Today, we're diving deep into the story of the Los Angeles fashion district and how it became the unlikely headquarters for the Sinaloa cartel's financial operations. This isn't a movie plot. It is a true story of how designer jeans and wholesale t-shirts were used to wash tens of millions of dollars in drug money. Let's set the scene. It's the morning of September 10, 2014. Downtown Los Angeles is just waking up, the streets buzzing with the usual morning rush. But in the heart of the fashion district, something extraordinary is about to happen. Over 1,000 federal agents from the DIRS and Homeland Security descend upon the district. This isn't a small-scale operation. We're talking a full-blown coordinated raid. Their targets, dozens of businesses lining the streets, but two in particular are at the center of it all: QT Fashion and Pacific Eurotex. To the average person, these were just typical clothing wholesalers, part of the fabric of the bustling garment industry. But to the federal government, they were key cogs in a sophisticated global money laundering machine. So, how did it all work? The scheme was known as the Black Market Peso Exchange, and it's a surprisingly complex system designed to do one thing: turn dirty US dollars from drug sales into clean Mexican pesos that the cartel could use. Here's a simplified breakdown. The Sinaloa cartel has millions of dollars in cash sitting in the United States from selling drugs, but they can't just walk into a bank and deposit it. That would raise immediate red flags. They need to get that money back to Mexico and into their hands without alerting the authorities. This is where the LA Fashion District comes in. The cartel would give its piles of cash to money brokers. These brokers would then approach businesses like QT Fashion and Pacific Eurotex. They'd say, "Hey, I need to pay for a huge shipment of clothing for a client in Mexico. Can I pay you in cash?" The store owners, allegedly in on the scheme, would agree. They'd take the drug cash, sometimes stuffed into duffel bags and cardboard boxes, and use it to pay for legitimate goods like textiles and clothes. These goods would then be shipped down to Mexico and sold by a legitimate business partner. The pesos earned from selling those clothes would then be handed over to the cartel, and just like that, the dirty drug dollars from the US have been converted into clean pesos in Mexico. The LA business gets a cut for their trouble, the broker gets a commission, and the cartel gets its money cleaned. It's a win-win-win for everyone involved in the criminal enterprise. It's a genius, albeit illegal, way to move money across borders without physically carrying cash or making suspicious wire transfers. The goods, the clothing act as the vehicle for the value. The scale of this operation was staggering. During the raid, agents seized around $90 million in cash. Let me repeat that. $90 million. Much of it was found stashed in the most unbelievable places. We're talking about cash bundled up in duffel bags, hidden inside cardboard boxes labeled t-shirts, and even stacked floor to ceiling in back rooms. One business, Pacific Eurotex, had $35 million seized in cash from its premises alone. Imagine walking into what looks like a normal warehouse and finding stacks of $100 bills alongside boxes of denim. It sounds like a scene from Breaking Bad. But this was real life in downtown LA. The investigation revealed that this wasn't just a few rogue businesses. It was a deeply embedded system. The Sinaloa cartel had effectively turned a portion of the LA garment industry into its personal laundromat. They exploited the cash-heavy nature of the wholesale business, where large cash transactions aren't entirely unusual. But the amounts they were dealing with were on another level entirely. Federal authorities estimated that tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars were being funneled through these businesses every year. So who were the people behind this? The investigation targeted several individuals, including family members who ran these wholesale stores. For example, the Chen family, which operated QT Fashion and other related businesses, was accused of laundering money for the cartel. They would allegedly take bulk cash deliveries from cartel couriers and use them to pay off business invoices, effectively integrating the illicit funds into their legitimate operations. In another instance, a business owner was recorded telling an undercover agent that he could launder up to $1 million a month, advising them to bring the cash in smaller bundles to avoid suspicion. The indictments that followed the raid charged several individuals and businesses with a range of crimes, from bulk cash smuggling to conspiracy to launder money. It sent a shockwave through the fashion district. Suddenly, this industry, known for trends and textiles, was in the headlines for its connections to international drug trafficking. It was a wake-up call, showing how easily legitimate industries can be infiltrated and corrupted by organized crime. This case also highlighted the sophistication of modern cartels. They aren't just violent organizations. They are complex multinational corporations with intricate financial strategies. They understand global trade, economics, and the loopholes in the system better than many legitimate businesses. The Black Market Peso Exchange is a prime example of this financial savvy. It's a method that has been used for decades, constantly adapting to law enforcement's efforts to crack down on it. It moves from electronics to clothing to whatever commodity can be easily bought and sold across borders. The aftermath of the 2014 raid was significant. Several business owners pleaded guilty and faced prison time and massive financial penalties. The raid served as a major disruption to the Sinaloa cartel's financial pipeline in the United States. When you seize $90 million in cash, you're not just taking their profits, you're seizing their operating capital. You're making it harder for them to pay their people, buy more product, and fund their violent operations. But did it stop money laundering in the fashion district for good? That's a tougher question. Experts believe that while this specific network was dismantled, the underlying method, the black market peso exchange, is too effective to disappear completely. As long as there is a demand for drugs in the US and a need for cartels to launder their profits, they will continue to find creative ways to do so. They might move to a different industry or a different city, but the principle remains the same. This story of the LA Ghost Mall is a fascinating and sobering look into the hidden world of high-finance crime. It shows how the global economy's legitimate channels can be hijacked for illicit purposes. The next time you're shopping, whether online or in a physical store, it's a wild thought that the very products on the shelves could, in some convoluted way, be connected to a world most of us only see in movies. It's a reminder that beneath the surface of our everyday lives, there are often complex and sometimes dark stories unfolding. The case of the LA Fashion District is one of the most compelling examples of this hidden reality. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think about this incredible story? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this deep dive interesting, please hit that like button and subscribe for more true crime stories you won't believe are real. See you in the next video.